Okay, welcome to the lecture hour for the senior project. This week, my name is Gazian Alankush. I'll be talking about how to perform a literature review. If you have any questions, feel free to stop me. So, you're all going to do senior projects, right? Therefore, you have an idea that you want to realize, right? You want to implement, you want to somehow make an idea real. Okay, so how does existing work relate to it is today's question. Literature review is talking about existing work, other people's, maybe yours, existing previous work, how it relates to your work, and why does it matter. So you have an idea, other people had similar ideas, okay? We are living in a very crowded world, technology has improved so much, so whenever you think of an idea, know that many other people in the world are having the exact same idea usually, because we're consuming the same media, we're consuming the same websites, we, I guess, have similar cultures with at least part of the world. So we are coming up with similar ideas. People are very similar to each other. So therefore, it is very likely that the idea that you came up with, somebody else came up with it a year ago, and they actually created something out of it. Okay, you're just in an idea phase right now. They have created something from that idea. They have realized their idea. So this is usually the case. So these ideas that other people have acted upon already is the existing work or other work that we will be talking about. These are already done, and it is related to your idea. Okay? Other people have done things that are related to your idea, closely or far away related. We will talk about that. Okay, what are you supposed to do? Right? You have senior project ideas. Every group has an idea for the senior project, what they will do, but I'm telling you that other people have done similar things. Maybe exactly the same thing, maybe something related, maybe something better, worse. So what are you supposed to do about it is today's question. Okay? Let's go over some example situations. So you have an idea, okay, for your senior project. Someone else already did it. So these red ones are other people's ideas, other people's work. You have this nice idea, yellow one. Somebody did it even better already. So what do you do in this situation, right? You want to create an autonomous car. People have created autonomous cars that can already drive really nice. So what are you supposed to do? This means that your idea is not novel, it's not new. It's maybe okay for a senior project. Okay, in senior projects, we're not looking for really unique new ideas. Senior project is also partly for your learning, right? You're getting some experience. It would be nice if it's novel, but it doesn't have to be. So it depends on your professor if he accepts the idea or not. I'm talking about in general, like literature review ideas in general. In the future, when you're working in a company, you want to create a product, and you're in this situation, stop. You're a researcher. You're trying to do a piece of research for an idea of yours. You found out that somebody did it better, stop, okay? Or change your idea. So this is sometimes the case, a lot of time the case for the senior projects here, okay? But try to maneuver out of this if you can. But it's usually still okay to do a senior project like this, okay? But this is one of the cases. You have an idea, somebody already did it even better. Or another case, more ideal case would be, you have an idea, but there is existing work related to that idea, but your idea is still worthwhile. Okay? It still makes sense to go after your idea, even if there are other people that have done similar things. Okay? This is a nice place to be in. For example, when the iPhone came out, there were already cell phones, there were already computers, there were already mini computers, tablet kind of computers. Some Windows had a tablet, PC kind of thing. So there were related things, but it still made sense to create the iPhone, and it became a huge success, right? Also, there was the iPhone. Google did Android. It still made sense to do the Android, even if there was another one, even better perhaps. So it was not exactly the same thing. So, for example, Android was more open. It could work on other devices, etc. It had a different approach. So there's the iPhone, but we have the idea of Android. We want to create Android. It's okay. So it is related, not exactly the same thing. It's better. Okay? So you like to be in this situation. There is other work that is related. Some are less important, like a small bulb here. Some work is less successful, but still related. Somebody did it. The large bulb represents somebody did a great thing like the iPhone. Or the faraway bulb represents somebody did some work. It's not very close. It's great work, but it's not very closely related to see such existing work. Some will be great, some will be not so great, some will be very close to yours, some will be a little far away from yours. You still try to get a whole picture of the current work. You still try to include as much as possible close ones and far away ones. Okay? This is your related work. What other people have done in the past that is related to what you're doing. So what are you supposed to do? Again, the question, right? Okay, there's all this work. I want to do something. What am I supposed to do about this existing work? I have 2 bullet points here for your audience. The first one, who's your audience? The world, also the professors in your senior project jury, right? You need to convince them that these other things, other work is related to your idea. You need to explain how they are related, and you need to convince them that it still makes sense to do your idea. Okay? So how do you do that? Okay, I want to create Android operating system called Android. There is the iPhone operating system, which is great, but it only works on the iPhone hardware. It doesn't work on Samsung. Any other company cannot create it. It's also closed in a lot of senses. We will make it more open, etc. So you tell how it's related, and you'll say why it still makes sense to create your idea. For you, the second bullet point is for you. So you need to be knowledgeable about the related work because you want to be inspired by it to improve your idea. Okay? So if I just sit down, I'm a very illiterate person, I don't know anything. If I just say, oh, I will create a phone that's like a computer, etc. If I do it today, you would just laugh at me, right? You would say, oh, there's the iPhone already, there's Android already, right? I have to know what's out there, and I have to say what I'm creating and how it relates. Also, maybe my idea is stupid like that. You know, there's already the iPhone. What are you talking about? A new kind of phone, which is smart. There's already smartphones out there. So I have to know about the existing ones, and I have to say, okay, they did the smartphone. Maybe that's not a great idea. So let me create a smartphone that's like this. Okay? So I'll be able to improve upon my idea, so that it still makes sense to do my idea while there is other work that other people have done. Okay? So this is why we are doing related work, working on related work. You find out what has been done, and then you tell how your work, your idea is related, and you also tell why it makes sense to go after your idea still, even if there are other people who have done similar things. Okay? Any questions? So far you can ask anytime. So where do we find this related work, right? Other people have done things that are similar to our idea. Where do we find these? Not just a Google search, but that it comes in 3 forms. There can be scientific papers, scientists like us, professors, who create some new project, some scientific breakthrough. We publish a paper about it, scientific paper about it. Google Scholar is the place to find such scientific papers. So even if you're doing a senior project, you should look for such scientific papers. You should tell the reader, what people have done, what scientists have done, how it relates to your idea. There can be commercial projects. Let's say you want to create a mobile application. That's really nice. But there can be other mobile applications out there. You have to find them. You have to review them, and you have to say how they relate to your idea, how they are different, why it still makes sense to create your idea. For example, if I say I'll create a map application that you can find where you want to go, I have to mention Google Maps, and I have to tell my reader why it makes sense to still create a map application even though there's Google Maps. Okay? So ideally, I create something different than Google Maps in some sense. Course projects, etc. Whatever you can find in Google that's related to what you're trying to do, you have to take them as your related work and talk about them, which I'll talk about soon. There can also be patents. Maybe nobody published a scientific paper, nobody created a commercial project, but people file patents about ideas. So you come up with a really nice idea, you cannot do it now, but you file a patent about it, saying that I came up with this idea, let's note this in time, and whoever wants to create that idea in the future needs to pay me money, because I hold the patent for it, I thought of it for the first time. Okay? So this becomes important when you want to create a commercial product. Let's say you create a commercial product, you want to sell it, and the owner of the patent comes in and says, give me millions of dollars. So you don't want to be in that situation. You want to know about the patents as well if you're creating a commercial product. So So let's talk about the first item, Google Scholar. How many people have heard about Google Scholar? Very little. So Google Scholar is a search engine for scientific papers, scientific research. Okay? And whenever a scientist creates something new, so most of the products that we have these days are the result of scientific papers published like 5, 10 years ago. So scientists always try to push the boundaries of what's possible. So to go to Google Scholar, you go to Scholar, scholar.google.com or google.com tr. It's also Google Academic in Turkish, I believe, if you're using the Turkish version of Google. So this is Google Scholar. Here you can search for anything. Does anybody want to give me their senior project idea so we can search for it? In the other section, somebody said autonomous cars. In this section, is there any? Okay, nobody wants to say, I guess. So I'll go with autonomous cars again. In the other section, in the morning, apparently there was a senior project about self-driving cars, autonomous cars. If I search for autonomous cars here, it shows me all the scientific work that has been done related to it. Internet of vehicles, intelligent autonomous cars and vehicle cloud, so this is about networking of autonomous cars, ethics of autonomous cars, etc. If I click on one of these, it usually shows me a PDF report or a page like this, or I could have clicked on here to see the PDF scientific paper for that item. So that's how you find them. Okay, this is downloading. Okay, so ethics method for autonomous cars. This is a scientific paper in a weird format actually, but actually a book chapter apparently. So this talks about scientific research related to ethics in autonomous cars. Let's look at this one perhaps. Yeah, so this is another scientific paper. I can download the PDF of it, but there's the title of it. And most of these scientific papers has an abstract section in which what the work done is summarized. Okay, what this paper is talking about is summarized in this abstract section. So if you find such related scientific papers from Google Scholar, you should at least read their abstract sections. You don't have to read the whole paper if you have thousands of papers, but at least read the abstract section to understand how closely related to your work this work is. Okay? And there's another strong thing, powerful thing in Google Scholar. So I searched for autonomous cars. I didn't search for self-driving cars and things like that. Let's say my idea for senior project is autonomous car that also makes coffee, okay, with a coffee machine in it. Right? That's my idea. I searched for it. There's no such idea out there. Maybe I'm not able to find it. Sometimes that's the case. You're not able to find the scientific paper. It actually happened to us before. We had a scientific idea. We worked on it for months. The last night before our submission of our paper, we found out that there was a paper from Japan that did the exact same thing in a better way. So that's a very bad place to be in. So it is sometimes the case that you cannot find some scientific papers even if you search. It can be difficult to search. But this is what you should do in that case. So I am person A. If somebody else had a similar idea, a related idea, there are papers that he would cite, right? He would cite a paper about autonomous cars. I want to cite a paper about autonomous cars. So cite means talk about. His related work includes autonomous car paper as well. So he, in his paper, will mention related work. So I will do the same thing. So when I find a paper that other people might cite, I look at who cited this paper. So that's a great way to find related work to mine. So I do a search, I find a bunch of papers. There's a cited by link here. When I click on it, I find other work that have cited this work. Okay? Other work that came after this work that have cited this work, that talked about this work. So this is a very powerful thing in Google Scholar, and you should do that. When I click on it, now this is the paper that I'm talking about, and these are all papers that came after it and talked about this paper. So this is a great way to, so all of these related papers are connected this way. People talk about other papers, and when you find a paper that's related, you can go to papers that cite it, and from that you can go to papers that cite that, and that way you can find pretty much all the related work that you're interested in. Okay? So I just wanted to mention that the cited by is a very powerful tool in Google Scholar. Even the paper, which was in the past, does not include that information. But papers that came later, Google Scholar knows about it and shows to you that these later papers are citing this old paper. So this way you can find those later papers, even if your searches don't show them. Okay? So sometimes students say, okay, there is no related work. We came up with this idea, autonomous car that makes coffee. We couldn't find any autonomous car that makes coffee. So it's totally new, nobody did it, etc. Yes, nobody did the specific thing, but they did autonomous cars already, they did coffee machines already. So those are your related work. Okay? Even if they did not do the exact same thing that you're doing, there is still things that are related. Okay? Autonomous cars that makes coffee, autonomous cars are your related work. Coffee machines are your related work also. Also, autonomous cars that make people's lives easier, also in different ways. Maybe it gives you chocolate, I don't know. Those are also related to you. Okay? So you have to talk about all of these in your literature review. So for example, here I invented beaming, right? Beaming to the other side of the world, instant transportation in movies, in Star Wars movies, etc. You see it. Let's say I invented that today. I cannot say I have no related work. My related work now is other forms of transportation, cars, planes, etc. I need to compare myself with planes. It takes 1 hour to get to somewhere. With beaming, it takes 1 second. So this is what I need to say. Planes, airplanes are my related work. Cars are my related work. Also, how did I come up with beaming? I did some kind of quantum physics, I guess. So other work around quantum physics that is close to mine are my related work. Even if nobody, I am the first person to invent beaming, I have so much related work still. Okay? So for your project also, that you will find so much related work. So another thing, I didn't see his work is not a valid excuse. So this actually happened to me. I was the referee for a TÜBİTAK project. A company was applying for a TÜBİTAK grant money. They wanted to do a project, a project. So I have my PhD thesis. They tried to, their idea was smaller than my PhD thesis, a simpler version of my PhD thesis. But they did not see my PhD thesis. And I went there, I said, okay, this is already out there. We did research about it. Even if you're creating a commercial product, you should have talked about our thesis and you should have get inspired about our thesis because they were doing something primitive. If they saw my thesis, they could do something better. Okay? Their defense was, oh, we didn't see your thesis. We did not copy your thesis. They thought I was telling them you copied my work. No, that's not what I'm saying. If you're creating something, you have to be aware of what's out there and you have to be inspired by them. I have already solved the problem. They are ignoring that problem, right? They could use my solution to create something better. Okay? So it's never the excuse, it's never a valid excuse that I did not see it. So let's say you're creating a program, you create something, and then you present it, they say, oh, there's this one. Oh, we did not see it. It's okay, we did this other thing. No, you cannot say that. You have to say, okay, there's this other work. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. It's my bad. Let me, change my paper, mention that, and say how it's different. Okay. So if you don't see it, it's your problem. You should have seen it. If you didn't see it, the new thing that you see may make your work worthless. That's also the case sometimes. But hopefully, it's not exactly the same thing. So you can still say, okay, there is that kind of work, but we are doing something a little different. Hopefully you can say that. But if I say I'm going to create a coffee-making autonomous car, and I actually make the car, and then they say, oh, there was Mercedes already did it, and I cannot say, oh, I didn't see that. No, I cannot sell that car. Even if I understand it in the last minute, I can do a twist like, oh, this is Turkish coffee machine I have here, like Turkish coffee making autonomous car. So I have to still make it worthwhile, even if I didn't see it. Okay? So that's a tricky thing. Sometimes students think that not seeing it, not copying from it, is an excuse. It's not an excuse. You should have seen it. In a very rare condition, maybe you invent something independently. Somebody else does it at the same time as you. You both invent the same thing at the same time. If they publish it before you, you lose. You have to act like you saw their work and then you created what you wanted to do. Okay? So you have to put their work as your related work. But this is very rare. Usually, you just don't see related work, and then that's a problem for you. You have to, yes. Yes, so that's a good point, great point. So when I'm searching in Google Scholar, so, I see all these PDF links, and I go to the websites, I can download PDFs. Sometimes you cannot download those PDFs because our university is paying some money to these research institutions, and when you're connecting the internet from our university, you can download papers. But when you connect from home, you cannot download, you have to pay. Yes, that's a great point. So you should make this search at school or use the VPN of our school. Or you can ask your professors. So there are papers that even our university cannot access. Okay, there are papers like that. But we do have, I did my PhD in the United States. I still have my account there. Or we have some subscriptions, personal subscriptions. You should, when you cannot reach a paper, not even from here, you should ask your professors, can you find this paper for me? They will find it somewhere like that. So that's a great thing. If you do these searches at home, you will be able to see the papers most of them. Yes. Thank you. So therefore, you cannot say I couldn't download it. Similarly, you have to get to it somehow. Maybe even pay the money sometimes. I do that in the worst cases. But usually, if you ask your colleagues, friends, professors, they will be able to find it for you. So that was about the first item, scientific papers. You find them through Google Scholar. You look at the other work that cites that work to find more and more. And you cannot say there's no related work. I didn't see that work. You cannot say that. You have to find them. If it comes up later, you have to maneuver so that you make up for your excuse, make up for your mistake. Okay, you found all this related work. What do you do with them? I found all these papers. Of course, then you also talk about not only papers are your related work, because yours are senior projects. It doesn't have to be a publishable paper. It doesn't have to be a novel research. Commercial projects, course projects that you see on the internet, etc., are also your related work. Okay, so you're going to make something, autonomous car, for example. You're going to make a project about it. You look, there is the Tesla, I guess, has an autonomous mode, but Google has an autonomous car. So there is commercial products also. You're going to make a coffee machine. There is so many coffee machine products out there. Those are also your related work. Okay, so let's say you're making a mobile application. All the mobile applications that are close to it, that relate to it, are your related work. You need to look at Google Play, you need to look at iOS Store, etc. Also, patents can be your related work. Patents, this is, you have an idea, you file a patent for it. When somebody wants to realize that idea, they have to pay you money. If you're not creating a commercial product, patents are okay for our senior project, but in the future, this may be relevant to you. You should be aware of the patents as well. Okay, but scientific papers as well as commercial products, whatever you can find on the internet that is related to your project, that's part of your related work. Okay, so we found all this related work. What do we do with them? You cannot just list them. A, there's B, there's C, there's D. When you just, let's say, in your report, you just have a list of papers that the reader can download and read and understand. It's not enough, because as the author of your senior project report, it's your responsibility to summarize the related work and give the reader a nice picture of the situation in the world. Okay? So how do you do that? You group these related work that you find around topics. So either papers or commercial products, but you group them around topics. Let's say, again, coffee making autonomous car is my project. Let's say this A here is the autonomous cars. Okay, you have to talk about autonomous cars, how they drive by themselves, etc. There can be small and large contributions, but they are related to you. You have to have some related work there. Let's say B is autonomous cars that make people's lives easier. Maybe it gives you a chocolate, I don't know. Some similar to making coffee. If there's anything that's related like that, that could be another group. So you also have autonomous cars that help people's lives, C is coffee machines, right? You're claiming to make coffee in these autonomous cars. You need to talk about coffee machines that are out there, because you're not inventing a coffee machine. There's so much work, so many products, coffee machines, that relate to what you're trying to do, right? So you group them like this, and after that, summarize them in your related work section. So this is one of my papers. In the beginning, I give a very brief summary of the whole related work, and then in every paragraph, I talk about one of these groups. Let's say autonomous cars have been out there since the first one was done at this time. Recently, the advances are like this, right? I write a nice paragraph summarizing the situation about autonomous cars in general. And in paragraph B, let's say I talk about autonomous cars that make people's lives easier, or Mercedes did an autonomous car which gives you chocolate, I don't know, things like that. So, and the current situation is nobody thought about making them make coffee, right? So I'm summarizing that area and telling how it relates to my work, and then coffee machines, and then in summary I say, there have been coffee machines, there have been autonomous cars, there have been autonomous cars that help people's lives easier, but nobody thought of making an autonomous car that makes coffee. Therefore, we're doing this project. Okay? So this is how a related work section goes. You need to summarize the situation. You shouldn't just give this guy did this, this guy did this, this guy did this, this guy did this. And then you're giving a laundry list. The reader has to make a lot of work, read them to figure out how it relates to your work. But if you summarize them nicely as groups, then people say, oh, nobody did this, people have done this. When they read it, they understand it much easier. Okay, it's your responsibility to do that group by group summary. And over here, you also see some numbers in my text. For example, this 8 says, Colombo et al. Created a simple game in which blah, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the sentence, I give the number 8. What is this sentence doing? It's talking about this Colombo guy's work. Et al. Means Colombo and his friends in Latin. These guys have done this, I'm saying. And now I need to refer the reader. If they want to read more about it, they can go to this 8 thing, which is this references section on the right, is at the end of the document. Number 8, in my document, I talk about that number 8 with the square brackets. At the end of the document, I provide more details about that number 8. And if they Google that, they can find the actual paper. This is like a web link. Okay? They can find the actual paper, can read more about it. To understand how it relates to yours. So you will have a related work section in your documents. Also, you will have a references section at the end, and the references will be numbered, and the references should be referred to from the document. All the references that you include need to have a citation like this square brackets number inside text. You cannot just provide a bunch of references without talking about them. That's not acceptable. Okay, so in the end, you group them, you summarize those groups, you provide references, and you refer to them from your text. Okay. You can look at many scientific papers from Google Scholar, just do random searches and see how people write related work sections, how they create references. You will see some papers that do A did this, B did this, C did this. That's a bad way of doing it. Don't get inspired by bad examples. So this is what we do with them. We find them, we group them, we summarize them in our related work section, and we provide them in references. Okay, so this related work section needs to present a story. The story is, we are trying to do this, there's this group of things that do this, there's this group of these things that do this. And in that story, I should mention things that relate to me closely. And in the end, I should say, I'm creating this, which makes sense. So for example, about topic A, people have done this, this, this. Some people were able to bring it up to here, but nobody has thought of doing this part. Implies that, which is what I'm trying to do. About B, people did great work. We are in that level. So, for example, autonomous cars that makes coffee. I'm not claiming that I'm making a better autonomous car. I'm just claiming that I'm adding this coffee thing to the autonomous car, right? So I'm not improving upon the driving of the car. So I say, okay, they have done this. I'm C. About C, people did excellent work. Our work is not claiming to do any better. So maybe they have really fancy coffee machines that's huge, that creates perfect coffee. They have done that, yes, but I'm just in a car, so I'm not competing with them. So I have to position myself nicely around all kinds of different things that people have done. So therefore, I can say my main contribution is about making people's lives easier. I'm not competing with coffee makers. I'm not competing with car makers driving algorithms. I'm just making a novelty in this. Okay, so in this citation example, you saw some formats. On the right, there were some authors. For example, the eighth one, there's some list of authors, the title of the paper, where it was published, the year, etc. So there are specific formats like that. In my years, in my English courses, they were asking us to, create these formats by memory, by hand. But these days, machines do these tedious work for us. So in Google Scholar, when you find a word, this quote button, when you click it, it shows you in different formats. There are different formats for different kinds of publications. In different formats, you can just copy paste this if you want to your references section. But I'll show you a better way of doing this. But if you want to look at how to cite, this is one way. So I'll talk about Zotero. I'll show you a better way. There are tools that manage citations for us, help us write our related work section, do these citations, managing those references. Zotero is one of them. I use it in my research. There are other tools like Mendeley, I believe. You can find other ones, but I use Zotero, so I'll talk about it. So if you try to manage these numbers and the references like this, it will be a very difficult job. And sometimes they say, okay, you have to order by last name. For example, look at these. Beston, Bouquet, Book, C. So the last name is ordered in last name D, right? If I want to insert a new one between here, between 5 and 6, then 6 has to become 7, 7 has to become 8, etc., right? Alphabetically, if I need to insert one, I mess up things. Then, if I don't update all the references, all the numbers in the text, things will be shifted, right? Kaydırmak. So things won't match anymore. So this is a horrible place to be. If you do that ever, it's very difficult to get that back, right? What does this number refer to? Because these papers are kind of similar to each other. It's very difficult to undo that mistake. So this is a tedious thing to manage these references, and Zotero helps you with that. So let's make an example. Zotero.org is where you can download this software. It has on the left-hand side a bunch of folder-looking collections where in it you can manage different other people's work. It includes the PDF versions, so you don't have to save PDFs in your hard drive. They have weird names, which one was which. If you print them out, a lot of papers, stack of papers are there. So it becomes difficult, but you manage all these PDFs and their information through Zotero. And when you want to cite, when you want to write your document, it also helps you with these references, managing those references. Automatically it creates those references. There is also, if you don't want to write in Word, if you want to use LaTeX, which is a difficult tool, let me say, so I do suggest you use Word. It also does equations, etc., just fine these days. But if you use LaTeX, you can also export this to BibTeX, but the rest is up to you. So let me demonstrate how you would use it. Let's say I create a collection here saying that I had a previous one before, so I'm creating a new one. And in this, I will have an autonomous cars collection, and also coffee machines. Okay, these are my groups. You usually don't just come up with the group names like this. You first collect the papers, you read them, and then you group them, right? That makes more sense, but I'm assuming that I did that. So what do? I created these sections. So Zotero makes Chrome aware of it. Zotero makes Word aware of it. It connects with Chrome and Word. So you go Tools, Install Browser Connector. It lets you download a Chrome extension or Firefox extension also. So I have it installed, and this is the button of it. So when I make a search, autonomous cars. This Zotero knows about these websites. It knows how to parse Google Scholar websites or other scientific websites. It is aware of them. So when I search for it, let's say why ethics matters for autonomous cars is a paper that I want to include in my autonomous cars collection. I click on here either and select it from here. This is a Zotero window as you can see. I say OK. And where should I save it? It says I should select the correct thing here, autonomous cars. And then it appeared here. Okay? So it got all the information nicely here. It has the title, author, where it was published, the year. So in a nice database, it saved it in my Zotero. It also got the PDF for me, downloaded the PDF, put it somewhere in Zotero's data folder. I can put notes in this PDF and save it. It will still stay in Zotero. So this makes managing PDFs much easier. I can also write notes on it. Because you read these papers, you forget what they were about. You want to write some notes somewhere so that when you come back to it, you remember how it was relevant to you. You say add note. Here they something you write down your notes. It is saved here. So let's say I got more of them. Optical and transport. Reachability analysis, blah blah. This, I guess, is kind of related to doing something that helps people in autonomous cars. So I can either click on, or let me just use this one. Yeah, let's assume that this was the one. So I can either get it through Zotero like this, or I can go to the research website. Zotero knows about a lot of research websites also. So Science Direct, for example, Elsevier. Zotero understood it and then changed its icon to article. I can click here. If I get it through here, it gives me more information. That's why I'm doing it. Google Scholar has less information than these sites. So, no, I actually want to put it in the other one. Anyway, so this is the one that, as you can see, it also got the abstract and all the details, also PDF. And let me get another one to the other collection. Let's say the very first one. Let me get here website. Okay, so I'll select that other. That help people. Okay, so it was oops. Let's get the third one instead. Anyway, so I got that over here. So I'm creating all these items. Let's also search for coffee machines. Let's say the first one is patents, all these patents. And I'll choose the coffee machines collection. Okay, now I have that in my coffee machines collection. I can take notes of them, etc. So you collect your items like this. You can later change their groups. It actually copies it, so you have to delete it from the first group. Remove items from collection. So it's more like labels than folders. Okay, and then you read them. You make a summary about them. These are the ABC that I was talking about. So this is how you get data into Zotero. You go to websites using the Chrome extension or Firefox extension. You get the data into Zotero. You read them, you take notes in them, you organize them nicely in groups, and then what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to write your paper, right? Let's open Word. Okay, so senior project, one, and then abstract, introduction, related work. So in my abstract, I summarize it. In introduction, I similarly talk about something. In related work, I say, autonomous cars have been there something like that, right? Talk about autonomous cars. And then I want to cite some work. So I'm making a claim here. They have been here, they have been there for so long. Or maybe I'm talking about somebody's work. Now I have to make a citation to support this claim, right? Now I go maybe a summary about autonomous cars, figure out which paper I want to cite, maybe this one I want to cite for that sentence. That paper supports this sentence. So what I do is there's this Zotero tab in Word now, which you can install through Tools, Add-ons, Zotero Word for Windows integration. When you install that, this Zotero tab appears in Word. And then you say, when you write the sentence, now I want to cite a paper here. Add edit citation, I click. And then it asks me for the citation style. Remember I showed you a bunch of different styles in Scholar. I select IEEE, this is what you use usually. And then here I can just type the name or go to classic view to select it. This was what I wanted to use. I say OK, and see what happened. It put a number here, 1, and it's a field in Word, gray like this. And I will have a references section at the end. And in the references section, I don't have to create those references manually. Zotero will do it for me. I say edit bibliography, and then it created the nice citation for me. I don't have to worry about the format. Okay? And a nice thing is, let's say I'm adding a new sentence. Okay, I say this, and I'll provide another citation. But these are supposed to appear in an order. The first one I use is supposed to be 1 in the IEEE convention. So this one that I had used as 1 will become 2 when I add something here. Zotero manages this for us. So let's do that. Edit citation. Why ethics matters. Yes. Okay. Note that this new one became 1, the second one is 2, and is updated to 2. So there's no way of making a mistake here. This does all this for you. Yeah, so if you use it this way, if you do your references this way, it will be much more easier than trying to do it manually. And I hope that you use Zotero or a similar tool for your for managing and using your references. So like I said, your related work is not only scientific papers, but also websites, apps, etc., news articles, right? Those are also your related work. So you can also get them into Zotero. Let's see. Let's look at news.google.com. Let's see if there's an article. Apparently, it's a really nice new idea. Nobody talked about it. Let's just search for autonomous cars. Yes. Let's say this first news article is related to our work. I want to talk about it in my report, so I want to include it in my references and want to cite it. So look, it shows the newspaper icon. Zotero knows about this website. I click on it. I can save it to Zotero in autonomous cars section, I guess. And then I look at Zotero, I see it. Autonomous, yeah, the key autonomous driving is a news article. And similarly, I can cite it. So I did it citation. So it used the Wall Street Journal, whatever. It used a nice, good format for that. So it manages it for you. You can also change your style later on if you want. You can click on document preferences. Let's say you use it in a certain way. Your professor says, oh, we don't use that citation format. Change it to this. Or maybe after your senior project, you want to convert it to a scientific paper. Your professor says they use this kind of format. You can go to document preferences. Instead of IEEE, you can select APA, for example, which is a popular one. And then the numbers turn into author names, years, and the references become like this. So it manages everything like that for you. So you should use Zotero if you can. If you want help with it, I'd be happy to help you. Any questions so far? Yes. What do you use? What do you want to use it with? Huh? Yes, so what else other than Microsoft Word do you want? We can look at it. I think it does work with Mac. I don't have a Mac, so I can't tell, but was it called Notes in, what's the name of the pages? Okay. You can search. Yeah, there's a forum. Apparently, they talk about it in the forums. I guess it doesn't exist yet. But what you can do is there's Word for Mac. You can create these numbers and stuff in Word and then copy paste it to pages, I guess. That's one way of doing it. Or maybe there's another tool that works with pages. So there are some, Mendeley is another tool. So it's a similar tool. I guess it wasn't. EndNotes is another, but this is paid. I think there's a price for it. EndNotes. I mean, at least you are knowledgeable about the concept. You can find another tool probably. Or in the worst case, what I would do is I would get these numbers and references, and at the end copy paste it from there. That's one way of doing it. Any other? So I just want to summarize. So you're doing a senior project, you have an idea that you want to create, you want to realize. There can be other ideas, there will be other ideas that is somehow related to your idea. If you're creating a mobile game, there are other mobile games in certain genres. If you're creating a mobile application, there are other mobile applications. If you're doing a certain experiment, there are about bacteria, etc. Other people have done so many things that's related. So you need to be able to show how your work relates to others. Even if there is something that's already there that does something better than you, you need to talk about that. Otherwise, people think that you are ignorant. That's the worst place to be in, right? You need to be aware of what huge giants have done, and then talk about it, and then hopefully make a twist that makes it a little different than them. But that's not, you don't have to do that. Your professor may say that it's okay to do exactly the same as what they did because this is good learning practice for you. And when you graduate, when you can tell, I did this, that's okay in that field. But in general, you want to be in a situation where there is different pieces of work that's close or far away from your work, and then you want to position yourself nicely in that, and give the reader, convince the reader that your work is still worthwhile, and then get inspired by the other work so that you create an even better idea. You can find it in different places for your senior projects, scientific papers, as well as these commercial projects, news articles, etc. Whatever you can find on the internet will be relevant, and you will have to refer to them in your related work section. And you will have to summarize them by topic. Don't just give a list of this guy did this, this guy did this. You'll have to group them and summarize those groups by referring to those papers that created the groups. These are the most important things, and I talked about the tool that makes all this easier. Any questions? Okay, thank you for listening.